What's up, guys? We are back. We haven't done an episode for a little bit, but we've been so busy. Check it out. We got a brand new dyno, brand new mainline 4,000 horsepower dyno, so we'll be able to do all kinds of high horsepower cars. UTVs, we'll be able to do all kinds of high stall converter automatic cars. So I'm super excited. We're gonna get this thing all loaded up. We're gonna do some baseline pulls today. We're gonna start doing a new series called these mods versus dyno. So what we'll do is we'll test out a simple amount of mods that you can gain huge amount of power on a basically simple setup. So today we don't have any mods on this. It's got an intake, but that's about it, which doesn't really make a difference on these cars without a tune. But what we got is we got alternative performance engineering, so a flex fuel do-it-yourself flex fuel kit. So this is some of the kit, but has some other wiring for a different kit that we're running. But anyways, we're gonna install this for a later episode. Right now what we're gonna do is it has a 91 stock tune. So we're gonna do some baselines on 91, and then we're gonna go ahead and put some E85 in it. We're gonna log it, and that way you can see how much of a gain it does on ethanol by no tuning, just adding ethanol. I've been telling this to everybody on the forums, stuff like that, and people call me crazy. Well, I've been doing it for years. It works, and then I'm gonna verify it with the dyno. I verified it through other cars, but now I'm actually gonna show you results on the dyno, how much putting ethanol affects your horsepower on a supercharged application like this one. This is an LT4 supercharged Z06. It's got 15,000 miles and it's my daily. So I'm going to show you on the actual HP tuners, no cheating. I'm going to show you the timing that it runs and air fuel ratios before I add ethanol and after I add ethanol. Cool. So we did our first pull, ended up making 527, 564 wheel torque. You can see here our timing was only at 14 degrees. We're knock retarding 4 degrees, almost 5 degrees of knock retard. And then it was going into high IAT, so it's pulling timing. Typically these cars run a lot more timing than this, but because it's 91 octane, we're only getting about 16 degrees of timing. You can see over here it went really rich. AFR was down to about 1080s, which means it went into cat over temp enrichment because the cats got hot, and with a hotter burn, meaning hotter temps, and goes into enrichment, trying to save the cats, therefore it'll hurt your horsepower. So we're gonna go ahead now and add ethanol, do a couple pulls on ethanol. We can see the power difference here, and we can see what it makes here. All right, so we went ahead and did our first baseline pull. Actually, I did 2 or 3 pulls, but we were doing some other shooting. We didn't record it, but we'll show one of the first pulls, which was the last one at 527. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add the ethanol. I'm gonna add 2.5 gallons of ethanol to this. I have a half a tank in there, so it's gonna be right around like E28. And this has a stock tune, so we're not cheating, we're not tuning it. I'll show you the ethanol on the HP tuners will say 0, which means it doesn't have a flex fuel sensor, and we didn't enable the flex logic on it. Obviously the logic won't work without the sensor, but if you were to hide the sensor, you could cheat that way. And in doing this, we actually have to do 2-3 pulls until all the ethanol gets mixed up and the content goes up before it actually shows how much power it makes. Alright, so I did another pull. As we're mixing the ethanol, you can see it actually pulled a lot of timing. It was running only 10 degrees on that stock tune. It only made 513 horsepower on that pull because the IATs were kind of hot, and then it only made 14 degrees of timing. So I'm going to do one more pull now. It should be mixed up. So on that pull, we actually got slightly leaner. The AFR got leaner, and even though the coolant temps were higher, we actually made way more power up top. And then the timing went up to 15.5. It made 544 because it still doesn't have the timing it needs, but at least it made the power because it ran leaner on the last one. So we'll let it cool down a little bit, and we'll do another pull. one we made 552. So it made 16 degrees of timing on the last one. We need to add a little bit more ethanol because it needs it. But other than that, IATs are still kind of hot. Yeah, IAT2. We'll do one more and that's it. Let's take that off. Alright, so we're done. So, mods versus dyno. We see that no mods, but we just added fuel and we logged it. You can see on the last pool, timing went up to 18 degrees. And that's why she made 575. And it leaned out about 1.5. So AFR, instead of going to 1080s, it was about 1180 on that last pool, which is perfect for the supercharger. I can actually, I suspect right now we're about E24, E25, that's all the ethanol I had there. So if I add a little bit more ethanol, I suspect I would probably be able to get at least another 10-15 horsepower out of it. We're almost making 600 horsepower. I made 575, we dynoed to 527 with no ethanol. The highest I think we made was 527 or 527 or 530, one of those. But anyways, we still picked up over 50 horsepower almost. Well, actually 45 horsepower by just adding ethanol in the tank and then logging it. So you can't beat that. We'll be back. We're gonna put a flex fuel sensor. We're gonna fully tune it. I think I can get this thing to make probably 640, 650 to the wheels with no mods. Well, no external mods other than the flex fuel kit. And we'll get that from 8 Flex Fuel. Install it. Has an app on your phone. Oh yeah, so we're not cheating. You can see down here on the ethanol content. See how it says right there, ethanol equals 0. Even though this thing probably has about E20 and then E20 to E25 in the thing. We're gonna close it there. We'll show you the horsepower. We'll show you the last few runs. And this is our first car that we tested on dyno. I actually do like this dyno. It's pretty simple to use. Makes your life easy. Loading it up was a little bit complicated the first time, but obviously as expected as you're using something for the first time. But good experience with mainline and looking forward to doing more higher horsepower cars on this. It's a wrap.